Wednesday.
It is.
It is.
Well, of course it is.
This is also today's journal.
Yes. I'm Susan Meredith.
I'm Brian Glassford, and thank you for joining us. We have an exciting program for you. And before we get into that, I wanted to show you something. I think you've already seen it, but maybe our friends and our viewing audience have not.
Yes.
Did you peek?
I peeked.
In the new Christians Activities Calendar, let me show you that here. There it is.
There it is.
And this is another one that's free. We were talking about that yesterday, some free magazines and catalogs and different things. This is a free Christians Activities Calendar for Nashville. And if you will turn to the page 10.
Yes.
And look in page 10, you will see a couple. Ooh, wow, look at that. I'm burning our camera up. Some interesting information. One, we have a write-up on the beat.
And a picture.
And a picture
Yeah.
of a couple funny men, Joe Gaucher and Steve Geyer, the host, the co-hosts.
The Gigi Boys.
Yeah, the Gigi Boys. And it's a wonderful little write-up about the show, The Beat, which airs here on Channel 39, Saturday nights at 9:30. And that's exciting. Plus, we have our first ad about contemporary Christian music in here. We have 4 or 5 programs that we air here at Channel 39 that feature contemporary Christian music. And we've placed our first ad in there and did some advertising, and hopefully it pays off.
Catherine Darden does such a wonderful job, doesn't she? That is her magazine and her ministry, and I think it's really exciting because that magazine is just chock full of things to do. You can't get bored if you read this magazine.
And if you're interested in anything about concerts, contemporary Christian music, it is the magazine to pick up for Nashville. It's got all the updates and who's going to be in town and when, what bands where, and how much.
And if you can't get those, your singles out there particularly, if you can't get those friends that come to town to go to your church or some other church in town, then maybe you can get them to go to one of these concerts that's listed here, or one of the events around town. There's a lot of things going on.
A lot of things going on, and stick around because we've got a great program this morning and also this evening.
Yes, you know, we were able last week to pre-tape a man that a lot of you know as an evangelist, but he's had cerebral palsy. He was born with it, and his name is David Ring, and we're real excited about presenting that today.
We are. We have pre-taped this segment with him. He's a man that has just overcome things that you just would not think you'd be able to overcome. He will encourage you. He will inspire you. He will do all those things to you. Man, you got to stay tuned and see what this guy has to say because it is powerful.
He's not a victim. He's a victor, and maybe you can be too, just listening to him.
We're going to meet a man that has been told you can never preach, you can't sing. How can you get up in front of people and do anything? You're never going to be able to do that. A man with cerebral palsy, David Ring, and you're going to see a little clip here from Jerry Falwell's church.
That's right.
Who's ministering there. Has overcome things that probably you and I would never even consider of overcoming. Instead of just sitting down and becoming a vegetable like that's what people told him he was going to be. He really went to God and drew on his strength and is an overcomer.
He is, and we've got a lot of story to tell you today, and we were able to pre-tape him last week, so we'll look a little bit different. But this is David Ring.
But let me tell you, God can make lemonade out of anybody's lemon. But the problem is, we don't want to give God the lemon. We want to hang on to it. But I promise you, if you give God the lemon, watch lemonade flow from the throne of God. They told me I would never make it in evangelism. They said, David, you won't ever make it. Nobody will invite you to speak in their church. I only spoke to 163 times in the last 12 months. When I get a little bit more invitation, I'm going to go full time. God don't want my ability, but God wants my availability. Amen. Look at me, people. I can't even say Jesus plain. What's your problem, healthy men? What's your problem, healthy women? What's your problem, healthy teenager? What are you doing for the glory of God? I have cerebral palsy. What's your problem?
My. Let's meet this man.
David Ring, it's so nice to meet you.
Good to be with you today.
Thank you. You're in town getting ready for a very special conference, is that right?
Yes, April 27th, 28th, and 29th. We're going to be at tour of the Baptist Church for our Church of God conference. It's going to be a big conference. I'm going to be speaking. Dr. Falwell, who many people know, going to be there, and bunch of preachers and bunch of singers. We're going to have 3 days of wonderful get together, and we're open to anybody who wants to come.
Are you going to sing, David?
I think I'm going to sing on Wednesday night.
All right, this is what he's going to do it too.
Is he really?
We're going to show you a little later on. He does sing on his conferences. You do, don't you?
Yeah, I'd sing Victory in Jesus.
That clip we just saw was pretty powerful. I mean, you have conviction in your voice, in your heart when you come across. God called you to be an evangelist.
I believe I did with all my heart. When I was about 19 years old, God called me to be a full-time evangelist. And God laid a message on my life to encourage the saints of God. There are so many people out there today are discouraged, down in the mouth, and they got everything against them, and they are defeated, and they say, nobody loves me, nobody knows what I've been there. Well, when God called me to do what I'm doing, I'm going all over this country showing people, not only telling them, but showing them with my own life. If I can do it, anybody can. Don't give up. Don't give up. Joy coming in the morning.
Bless your heart. You were discouraged, though, really bad at one time in your life. And can we go way back to where you're from? Where are you from?
Well, I was born with cerebral palsy. Born dead for 18 minutes. The oxygen couldn't get to my brain. And that's why I speak like I do. That's why I walk like I do. Because of cerebral palsy. When I was 11 years old, my dad got sick. November 9, 1964, my preacher daddy went to be with the Lord with cancer. Well, I'm the baby of the family. I'm the baby of 8. And being born with cerebral palsy, yeah, I needed a mama love, a mama church. Mama protect me, Mama comfort me, and I tell people everywhere I go, I'm not only the baby of the family, but I'm a number 1 mama baby boy. But every morning my mama and I get up, we put our arm around each other. We tell each other we love each other. nothing wrong with loving your mama. I think everybody needs that.
Yeah.
There's something very special about my mom. Well, when I was 14 years old, my mom got sick. And the day before Mother's Day, 1968, she went in the hospital. I had the operation on neck. A simple operation, no big deal. But July, 2 months later, the doctor came to my family and I and said, your mama will never come home again. She had cancer. She had 6 months at the very, very moment to live.
How did that make you feel, David?
My mind, my heart fell apart. I thought, no, my mama can't die on me. Can she? My mama loved me just the way I am. My mama can't die on me. I got down on my knees and cried out to God, God, don't take my mama, please. God, please. Don't take mama. God, please. Don't take mama. God, my mama, the only thing I have. God, don't take my mama.
But
please.
he did.
But in October 1968, God took my mama, the woman that loves me. Not judge the way I am. It's just like somebody put a pin in my balloon. I saw my mama go from 185 pounds to 57 pounds. I saw a woman that I love go from a strong, vibrant lady to a weak and cancer ate mama alive, and my life went all to pieces. I didn't want to live. I wanted to die. And if I couldn't live my mama, why live? Everywhere I went, somebody would point their finger and say, look, that boy walked funny, that boy talked funny. I couldn't go home to my mama.
But Mama didn't treat you that way.
No.
So she was the one lifeline you thought you had.
But she gone. I couldn't go home. And I couldn't say, Mama, somebody made fun of me. She couldn't put her arm around me anymore and make it all better.
What happened in that loneliness?
I would lay in bed every day, every night, with tears rolling down my face, begging to die. Why? Because I was lonely. Why? Because I was longing to be in my mama's arms.
So you were wanting to die?
I wanted to die. I wanted to check out. Nobody loved me. My mama abandoned me. God don't love me. If God loved me, one day God take away my daddy. If God loved me, one day God take away my mama. If God loved me, one day God give me a crippled body. If God loved me, one God pick on me. If God loved me, why is God so angry with me? If God loved me, why is God breaking my heart? And everywhere I go, I find them people saying the same thing. God, if you love me, why, God? If you love me, why did my mom and daddy get divorced? God, if you love me, why did my daddy leave my mama? God, if you love me, why did my husband leave me for another woman? God, if you love me, why did you take away my baby? God, if you love me, why can't I have children? You know, everybody, healthy or unhealthy, asking God the same thing I am. God, if you love me, why?
Okay. You must have thought God really was too far away and really wanted nothing to do with your life. But there was a point in your life when you found out that he did.
There was.
And when was that?
1970. I told my family give up on me. Everybody gave up on me for one sister. She encouraged me. She wanted me to go to school. She wanted me to go to church. I didn't want to go to church because of what I told you. If God loved me, where is God when I need him?
Right.
But one night, I went to church just to get my sister on my back. Nothing spiritual about that. She'd been on it long enough. And at times she'd climb off. and that night I went in, I'd sit down. The preacher got up to preach. I'd say, man, I wish you would shut up. You know, like we all do. But that night the preacher shut up. But the Lord Jesus spoke up. And it came to my heart. And it said, David, I'm standing at your heart, donkey. If you only listen to me and open the door, I will come in and I will have fellowship with you forever and forever. And that night I got up on my seat, came down to an old-fashioned altar, got down on my knees, and I opened my life up to God. I'd say, God, if you really are there, if you really love me, come into my life. I'm a lonely, crippled boy. I'm a nobody. But tonight, I want to be a somebody. And that night, April 17, 1970, at 8:45 p.m., I became a somebody because Jesus came into my life. And I've never been the same. I don't want to die. I want to live.
He gave you hope.
Because I got something worth living for. The Bible says God's grace is sufficient. You know what that means? April 17, 1970, God became my daddy. God became my mama. God became my all in all. I'd still walk with a limp. I'd still talk funny, but all the joy that floods my soul because Jesus touched me and made me whole.
You've had to overcome so much. I mean, first of all, you're a PK, and I mean that is very hard to have to go to church all the time. Whenever the door's open, you've got to be there. Then you lost your father, who was a minister, and then your best friend and the person that cared for you the most and the person that you respected and loved, your mom, passed away, and then you just were empty and you were hopeless. But then you went to church just to get somebody off your back. That's a miracle. And then you gave your life to Christ, and He saved you.
And I found hope that night. I found life. Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. And that night, I ate of the bread.
But David, you really knew that night, didn't you? I mean, you really knew in your heart.
Change came over my life.
Yeah.
see, Susan, there are so many people out there got head knowledge. They know about God. They know the lingo. They know the song. They know the Bible. They know everything. But I believe with all my heart, if in a man being quiet, he is a new creature. I believe a saved life is a changed life. A changed life is a saved life. If you've never been changed by the power of God, you've never been saved by the power of God. If you've never been saved, you've never been changed. And that night, God changed my life.
All right, there's somebody sitting out there right now, and they're probably wondering about their own life and what even if they were changed, what could God do with them? And you must have been wondering then too. Okay, now what? What will you do with me? And how long did you have to go before you found out?
Well, Susan, I was just grateful to be alive. I found a whole new meaning, a whole new outlook on life. I did not sit around my thumbs and say, now, what, Lord, here I am. No, it was a daily walk with Him. And I take one day at a time back then. And I got involved in school, involved in my church. The people that made fun of me, they saw a change not only in my life, but in my attitude. And they voted me to be the most popular boy in that student body.
They also made you president of what, the music department?
The vice president of my class. And I think they amazing because the kids, the teenager, used to laugh at me, but they'd say, hey, what happened in David's life? He's not in the shell anymore. He's not down in the mouth anymore. He don't have a chin down. He got a chin up. What happened to him? It gave me the opportunity to shout. God changed my life.
All right, we're gonna take a break here, David, and when we come back, let's talk about that change and what the Lord did to kind of further this ministry of yours. All right.
Special guest is David Ring, a man that was born with cerebral palsy, was a PK, and his father passed away. His best friend and person that just cared for him and loved him as he was, his mother passed away. He's overcome a tremendous amount of difficulties, challenges, and trials, and has written a book called Just As I Am, and he is with us, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that. David, thank you for being with us. Tell us, why did you write a book?
I wrote a book because a lot of people come to hear me preach, and they urge me to put it on paper. And I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to write a book because it allowed me to get out all the emotion in my life on paper. You do not know all the emotion that in you until you sit down and start writing it. And it was probably the most difficult thing I ever did in my life. Because in the book, it tells all the bad emotion that I went through when my mama died, all the rejection I went through, how I was tossed from home to home, but also a triumph book. It shows how people throw away broken things, but God don't. God uses broken things. And in the book, I share how God can take anybody broken, and God can use it if we only allow Him to.
When did you know you were going to preach? How were you called?
1971, God called me to preach. Laying in bed one night, minding my own business. And God impressed on my heart, David, I want you to preach. And I gave God every excuse in the book.
Sure.
Me. God, I talk from the book. God, people can understand me. God, I have cerebral palsy. Now, can you imagine me telling God I have cerebral palsy?
You didn't
Think
know.
about that. He's the one that made me. I'm sure he'd say, you got to be kidding. And really tell me something I don't know. You know, and I'd say, God, if you want me to preach, take a second look and then call me. He took that second look and he still called me to preach. And I got out of my bed, got my Bible, turned it open to Philippians 4:13, which said, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And I'm not going to let a shaky body slow me down from doing what God called me to do. And many people who giving God excuses, God, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that. And when you add somebody to do something in the church, what do they say? Well, let me pray about it. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to pray about doing what God called you to do.
You don't need a second opinion.
No, you just, when God said do something, just shut up and do it.
David, how do you do this? I mean, you have all these things in your life that it seemed like to most people you would just sit back and
give up.
Yeah, give up. Where do you find the strength? I mean, what do you do?
When I eat, I shake. Okay, yeah, I shake. I love to shake. I thank God for shaking. Everybody can shake. You know, I went to the Holy Land a month ago, when you ought to see the video that I took of it. You know, the only people can watch it. People with cerebral palsy. You know, but I know I shake.
Right.
But when I eat, many times when I put the food on my fork and put it to my mouth, the food fall off. And when you eat with me, watch out for flying food, you know. But because the food fall off, what do? Throw down the fork? No. What do? Try again. And many people threw down the fork a long time ago. They say, how can God, what can God do with me? How can God use me? Look at me, whoa. You know, and they threw down the fork. I got many times over and over in my own life, I got to pick up the fork. I got to keep on going. They told me I would never ride a bicycle. They said, David, don't get on the bicycle. David, stay off the bicycle. One day I got on the bicycle. And I was going down a hill all by myself. And I said, self, you've got two options. Number one, you can fall down, break my neck. Number two, you can keep on going. And I kept on going and never fell down. And you'd say, that's not a big deal. No, it's not. But when I got on the bicycle, I didn't look at the ditch. I didn't look at the mailbox. I didn't think about falling down. When you think about falling down, you're going to fall down. I don't think about my past. God, you know, I preach a message. One of the bad things happened to God's people so that God's glory can show up. And I believe with all my heart, I'm a much better man because God took away my mom and my dad. Because now I'm depending on Him. Now my strength not coming from Mama April's strength. Oh, I miss Mom. I would love to sit by Mama and let Mama love on me.
She's up there leading the cheering section though right now.
I know, but humanly speaking,
Sure.
I would love a touch. But yet, that comes later. I'm on a mission now. I got a story to tell to the nation. And I'm doing that.
You are doing a tremendous job sitting here listening to you preach this morning. An outstanding job. You have a family, though.
They told you you'd never marry.
Never
have children.
Never find a wife. They said, David, don't even look for a wife. Why not? I'd say. You know, no woman will love you. Why not?
Right.
You're not good enough. My family told me, you came and get living for a wife. Don't even look for a wife. You won't ever find a wife. But 1981, God and me showed them a thing I do. And I found me a dynamite wife who loves me, who prays for me, who stick with me to thick and thin. She's not my slave, but she is God's precious gift. And see that what they every time I look at that, you know what I'd see? I'd see a woman that loves me just the way I am. And they told me I will never be a daddy, but I am. Not once, but 4 times.
4 times. How old are your
Pretty
children?
good, huh?
Pretty good, I guess. How old are your children?
I got a little girl, 11, little girl, 9, little boy, 5, and a little girl, 4-year-old. And people come up to me and say, David, are your children normal? And I look at them and say, sometimes I think they got brain damage, but that's normal.
Yeah.
But every time I look at my kids, all I can say to God be the glory. Great thing He had done. I came a long way, baby.
Yeah.
Yes,
What do your kids
you
think
do.
of you?
Yeah.
Good question. I'm your daddy. Let me give you an example. I took my 5-year-old boy to McDonald's in Orlando. I parked in a handicap space. I got a handicap sticker in my car. You know, I'm the one that helped healthy people hate. I'm the one.
You're the one that parks in those blue spots.
Yeah, I'm
Those
the
blue
one
signs.
that gets
right.
to park by the door.
And he's not even handicapped.
I know.
But I pulled in there one day, and my little boy. Now listen to this. My little boy said, Dad, let me ask you something. I said, what, Nathan? And he said, Dad, you are parking in a handicap spot. Why, Dad? And before I could answer him, I'd say, you know you're not handicapped, so move it. That came from a 5-year-old, but I'm your daddy. They live with me from day one. My little 4-year-old girl come up to me every time I go home and say, Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I miss you. And I'm so glad you came back home. I'm just Daddy. Let me ask this question. Where would I be today if I'd stayed down in the dumps long time ago? Where would I be today if I wrapped my life in a blanket of self-pity? I wouldn't be where I am.
That's right.
But thank God, when God changed my life, God changed my attitude. People come up to me and say, Brother Dave, don't you want to be normal? And I look at them, I'd say, what's normal? You think it's normal? You've got a long way to go, buddy. I don't want to be normal. I want to be judged like God made me. See, I'm so content. I know who I am. I know who I belong to. I know what I have. And I thank God every day for the way I am. And that's what I'm giving my life to. I'm giving my life to go all over the nation.
How much do you travel, David?
I'm in about 150 churches a year. I'm gone from home over 225 days a year. And I go all over the nation. I'm in a different church every week, about every night. And I'm so excited about coming to Nashville with the Church of God Conference.
Talk about this conference.
My wife gonna be with me that week. You know, she don't get to go with me and join me because the kids in school, but she's gonna be a part of the conference to meet people that whoever I've been. And folks, let me just invite you to come April 27th at 6:30 p.m. at 2 River Baptist Church. I'm going to be preaching that night. I believe I'm going to be giving my testimony, but don't hold me to that. I might do something else, but I know if you come Wednesday night, you're going to come Thursday night and Friday night. Dr. Falwell, my good buddy, going to be there Friday night, and I want Nashville to make him feel welcome because he is a very special man. People ask me, what do you like about Dr. Falwell? But well, he stuck with the stuff for 35 years. He's the same today he was 35 years ago. He loved God. He wanted to walk with Him. So come to the conference. It's for everybody, anybody. Come early. Get a good seat.
Okay, that's April 27, 28, and 29 at Two Rivers Baptist Church, and you're going to be there, and Jerry Falwell. A lot of speakers in the cathedrals, I believe, are going to be there.
Quartet,
Yes.
My good friends.
A lot of music.
Right.
Kingsman Quartet.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, I'll be happy to meet you. They can pick up a tape, videotape, my book. I'd sign the book for you. We're just going to have a good time.
Yeah, in fact, we can put up his address on the screen, and with your ministry information, they can write and get the book.
The book is called Just As I Am by Moody Press.
And there's David Ring Ministries, P.O. Box 1986, Orlando, Florida. It's a nice place to be from, by the way. 32802, and the number there, 407-648-5432.
And we'll show that address a little bit later here. You do something on your ministry, your concerts, whatever they would call it, conferences. You sing, and it is the most touching thing to hear you sing, because we are such a bunch of whiners in this world about where we're at, and you are such a victory in Jesus.
I sing every time I share my life story. I end the message with that song. It came to me in 1980. I just had a longing in my heart to touch people. And God lay on my heart that night to sing. And I sang. I'm not a singer, I'm a preacher.
Right.
All right.
I cannot sing, but it seemed like that night in 1980, I saw more men, grown men, healthy, strong, macho, balling like a baby. And God allowed me to sing that song everywhere I go. God, it's a demonstration how we throw away broken things.
Yeah.
But God don't. God uses broken things. Like in Nashville, you find a singer, a diamond Dudson in Nashville on every corner.
Sure.
A singer, but when God has it, God can use it to bring glory to Him.
All right. Well, we're not going to let the people down. They're going to hear you sing
Thank you.
right now.
Y'all come to the conference.
We'll be there.
Okay.
All right. God bless you. We want you to hear David Ring sing. This is also at Jerry Falwell's church, and his own Victory in Jesus.
Enjoy.
Victory, amen. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. He sought me, then bought me with its redeeming blood. He loved me, I knew him, and all my love is due him. He plunged me to victory beneath the cleansing flood. I like that second part I heard about. His healing, all be cleansing bound, we believe. How we made the lame to walk again, and caused the blind to see. And then I cried, Lord Jesus, come and heal my broken spirit. And you know what, people, somehow Jesus came to me and brought to me that song of victory. Sing that chords for me. Oh, victory in Jesus. Louder. Louder.
That's David Ring, and be sure and go out to Two Rivers Baptist Church, April 27th, 28th, and 29th. There'll be that great big conference out there. If you've been blessed by this morning, tell your friends to watch it tonight at 11 o'clock. That's when we replay. And right now I want to show you a picture of David Ring's family. He did marry, he did have 4 children, and for those of you out there that have some kind of debilitating disease or some kind of reason you think that that the Lord would not bless you, take a look at this. I think this would tell you that there can be victory in your life, and especially in Jesus Christ. That's David Ring and his family. And if you would like to have his book, the book is called Just As I Am, and you can get it just about any bookstore now. It's out, and it's his whole story. Give it to somebody as a gift. You may just be lifting a life. Tomorrow on the show we have the Director of Artists and Christian Testimony, Fred Heumann. He's going to be with us. He is a praise artist. He's going to be doing some singing and tell you about his ministry. There's a lot of artists in Christian Testimony out there, and he recommended from Provision Ministries, Scott McLeod and Trace Scarborough, and they're going to be with us, and they're bringing along a singer named Tom Lane. So join us tomorrow on Today's Journal, and we love you. Keep Jesus in your life today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Amen. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior.